Zoom's my bitch.
How long, man?
Oh,
Wait, like my filters or what?
I love that I'm here screaming my ass off and this cunt's fucking around in the background. I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then you just like grass behind you. All right. Everything's on.
Intro.
Beau, how you going?
Yeah, I'm good. Real good.
Bro, I was actually like overthinking today. I was like, fuck, I haven't seen Beau for I haven't seen you cunt for like a year now. Since I gave you that fucking shirt. Since I gave you that shirt, cunt. I haven't seen you.
Yeah, you've been fucking buying TVs off me and shit, and you haven't even popped your head in.
Yeah, nah. So obviously massive congratulations for the season that was last year and your NRL career so far. It's always great to see local boys make it, but you were one that was especially special considering, you know, like the closeness of our family relationships and seeing you go as far as you did and knowing that you actually fucking deserved it was just the biggest plus, I think, for us as well.
Thank you.
What's training been like? You had your first session back today?
Yeah, so we obviously trained, we started the 16th of November, so we've been back a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, first day back today of post Chrissy stuff, but before Chrissy, man, fuck, it was hot as it was pretty tough. Probably up there with one of the toughest pre-seasons I've done. Just the humidity and doing heaps of like long distance running this year.
Yeah, right. So you've actually
did you get that about training?
Missed that last bit. So it's humid as fuck was where we dropped out.
Oh yeah, and yeah, just been doing heaps of long distance running before Chrissy and that, and just trying to get the big boys fit. But yeah, post Chrissy we only had today, and it's been a bit weird because heaps of the boys have got COVID, so we only had like 13 or 14 boys at training. So there's not much you can really do with that many boys at training.
Is there a plan of action there, or is it just we're just gonna have to learn to, like, you blokes are gonna just have to learn to work around who's got COVID and who doesn't for the start of the year?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going to happen once the season starts, but at the moment, like if someone tests positive, it's just a week in ISO, and then they're sweet to come back to training. But yeah, I got no idea what's going to happen like during the season. Yeah. If something does happen, or whether you have to miss a game and do the 7 days, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like with the COVID bubble as well, like if you guys were to come up to a big game and next, like 4 of you have got fucking COVID, like that's going to be fucking shit stir. I imagine there'll be fucking teams blowing up left, right, and center because you guys will be legally obliged to fucking isolate for 7 days. And
yeah, 100%
to still be a professional fucking athlete. Just want to talk about, like obviously for those who don't know you, Beau plays for the Gold Coast Titans. And you signed there. What did you sign there to? Is that 224, 223?
24, yeah. So
you excited for that?
Yeah, I can't wait. I love living here on the Gold Coast. Firstly, my knee club's living here. And then I just love it's a mad group of boys, heaps of boys around my age, and we all get along. Like on the field, have some funny times off the field as well. So,
do you think you guys? Oh no, go on.
Oh, and just in terms of like, that's probably the main reason I'm happy off the field. And then on the field, it's just, I think it's exciting. Like the crop of boys that we've got, like I said, we're all similar age and everything. So if we can stay together for the next 4 or 5 years, like, I don't know, like anything could happen kind of thing.
Shit, yeah. Do you think you see yourselves as a bit of like, like, because you are right. Like you guys are a bigger, younger group of blokes in, like in the Titans, like you got AJ Brimson, Fafita, yourself, Tino, like, and you guys are all under the age of fucking, well, you're the oldest out of that group itself, and you're like 23, 24. And so like the potential there over the next couple of years, if everyone does stay, which as most people who play rugby league know, you don't have to have the best team, but if you fucking gel, you can fucking, anything's possible.
Yeah, that's right, 100%. I think that's something that has probably happened over the last probably maybe 10 months or so, our team's really like, I think that's why we played so well at the end of the year. Everyone was just getting along with everyone. And you can like anyone knows that plays footy, you can have a team full of blokes that are freaks, but if they don't get along, they're not going to play well for each other. So,
So, you've been like, you're fresh at the moment, no injuries, not carrying anything?
No, I'm sweet. Yeah, body's feeling good. So it's good to be fresh at this time of year. You can get the body as fit as possible before the season starts.
I was about to say, fuck, that'd be a pain in the ass. Like, I know myself, and like a lot of people who play rugby league know that you could have the best player in the world, and if they're just stung with injuries early or just injuries throughout their career, because it is such a freak sport that like bad injuries can happen with like the slightest little change of direction or the wrong tackle or like little differences that could happen that just fucking break you. So like, do you believe that you've been very fortunate in that regard, that like you had the ACL reconstruction 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, just over 2 years. Yeah, I've been like, obviously no one wants to do their ACL, and I know you've done yours, and it's not a fun time, but I look at like boys that have done it 3 or 4 times, and like, yeah, I'm pretty lucky. Like outside of that, I think my worst injury is a broken cheekbone, and that kept me out for 4-6 weeks. So, touch wood that keeps that way, because it's so, especially like talking about preseason and getting niggly injuries in preseason. Like you look at like the players that have the best years, they always have a full preseason, and like if you don't, you can't catch like the fitness up once you get to the games and that, because there's just not enough time in between games.
Yeah, exactly. And with injuries like that too, like you come back, but like you're obviously told by surgeons and doctors and stuff like that it's never going to come back as strong as it is. And, like that is wear and tear on itself. But the blokes that don't do the physio properly as well, or don't give the physio enough time, are always never going to come back anywhere near as good. And like, it is painful, like thinking that, you got to give up footy for a year when you're in that position, but it's just what you got to fucking do.
Yeah, it's the end of the world when it happens, but is what it is.
So you excited for the season, obviously. When do you kick off? Is it March?
Yeah, I think trial games in late Feb, and then round one's first or second weekend of March, I'm pretty sure. I think trial games 26th of Feb, and then we have a week off and then jump into it after that.
Do you know where you're playing, your trial games?
We're playing, one is here at the Gold Coast at Seabus against the Bronx, but I don't think I'll be playing that one. That's for more like the
the blokes coming through.
Yeah, that are probably outside like the top 20 boys kind of thing. So I won't be playing that one, and I'll be playing in the second one. We play the Warriors at Redcliffe. I think pretty sure that's the 26th of Feb. So yeah, I'll be playing that one.
Do you verse any like do many clubs put their heavy hitters in, or is it kind of just every club does the similar thing where they just let younger blokes cut their teeth, or the blokes that are just outside that group cut their teeth and try to prove themselves in those trial games?
The first one normally is so each club has 2 trial games, and the first one's normally like those younger blokes. You might throw a couple middles in there just to get some extra minutes, but normally like your top gun, your back line pretty much, and boys that normally play 80 minutes or whatever, they're not going to be playing. And then the second trial, like we'll roll out our best 13 for probably the first 50 minutes probably, and then we'll all be coming off at different stages depending on how many minutes the coach wants us to get and everything like that. So like I think I'll probably play 60 minutes and come off for the last 20, but yeah.
So obviously, like, you guys have got a pretty fucking staunch forward pack this year. You got to be fucking happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably going to be the smallest bloke in the forward pack, so it's going to be good having all those big boys around me, and just running after them after they've skittled a few blokes will just open it up for me some more, and the boys around me, obviously.
After the year that you've had, do you think that like who do you reckon was the hardest bloke you had to defend against this year, or you had to defend this year? Oh, last year, sorry, 2021.
Yeah, I reckon there's probably 2. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I know he's not playing anymore, and James Tedesco. Like they're that fast, and like just their strength, like through their hips. Like I remember when we played the Roosters in the semi-final, and James Tedesco played an inside ball, and I come flying in. I hit him like with everything I had, like right through the hips, and like he just kept powering his legs, and I'm thinking like, fuck, like I'm hitting him as hard as I can. Like, what have I got to do to knock this bloke over?
I feel like that is the biggest knock to your system as well. Like when you are a big bloke like me and you, and it's like you do charge in and you think, yeah, I'm gonna fucking rock this little cunt, and then they actually hold their own, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go.
It's the biggest bitch feeling when you give everything you've got into someone, and you don't feel like you've budged them, and you just think, fuck, what am I even doing out here if I can't knock him over?
Tedesco would be a funny one, I think, but like obviously Tuivasa-Sheck is like fucking jacked. Like his change of direction and his acceleration was just insane for like the size of his fucking frame and his legs and like is he a big dude? He fucking looks like it on TV.
Yeah, he's probably not as tall as probably me or you, but he's just like thick and just strong, man. Like, and especially like the couple times that I played against him, I was playing in the centers and like shambles one-on-one. Like as soon as he got the ball one-on-one, I'm thinking, fuck, like what am I going to do here? Like how am I going to stop this bloke? He can step left and right, and if he wants to, he can just run over the top of me. So mad head noise.
And then like a follow-up question to that one, which I think is a bit funny, but who do you reckon was the easiest bloke to tackle? Or the easiest bloke you had to defend against?
I don't know. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus because it might come back to bite me. But
challenge someone.
I don't know. I always liked someone with like slower leg speed in the middle that like you can just kind of like chop into a bit. Some of the older front rows. I'm just trying to think of someone
that's retired.
Yeah. I'll throw like Jared Wallace at our club. Like he like if he's running straight at you, like he's hard to handle. Like he's a big body, but like I'm not going to put a shot on him. But it's those kind of bikes that I can kind of just hang on to and let like someone come and chop his legs, or like big bodies like that, like someone like Andrew Fafita, for example. Like he's probably lost a bit of speed in the last few years, and like someone like that you can just kind of like hit up top and lock up kind of thing and just wait for someone to like come in and hit him. Like I'd rather a big bloke run at me than like a little nippy halfback that's going to step me and burn me with speed. Yeah.
Obviously you couldn't say there like anyone particular, but do you have like, does Titans have a beef with another team? Like obviously you got the Roosters, Rabbitohs and Bulldogs, Broncos and
shit like that. It's probably Broncos. Like
really?
Yeah, because it's kind of been like it always gets played up in the media, like the big brother, little brother kind of thing. And like whenever we've played the Broncos, like whether it's here or there, like it's packed and like you just like, and we've got a few ex-Broncos in our team, and like everyone at the Gold Coast just hates the Broncos. Like they just want us to smash them, and like the lead up to those games against the Broncos is just like, let's fucking rip into these fuckers. And like it's pretty mad. And like especially when like we played them at home, and like you run out and the crowd is packed, and it's just mostly like Titans fans as well, and it's like it's mad. It's like it's their biggest game of the year. It's the one that everyone wants to go watch.
Yeah, fuck yeah, those are the best games. They just give you like, you can never explain it as much as you feel it. Obviously, I can never compare to what you've experienced, but I completely understand, because obviously, like with the Broncos junior setup, like the junior system setup, they have got hands and fingers in everyone's fucking pie here, and they just sign massive amounts of young talent. And so there would be a lot of people who were affiliated with Broncos that are now with other clubs. You know, like obviously
100%.
A lot of the population that do go on to greater things, like there'd be a high percentage, I imagine, from Queensland anyway, that would have started in a Broncos squad or a T-shirt squad, as they're known.
Yeah, well, you make any like little reps team in juniors in Queensland or Southeast Queensland, like the Broncos are straight on to like whoever, and they just sign up all these kids. And
Yeah.
I guess it's probably like a way to do it, because as soon as one turns into something good, they sign them for longer. If not, then out you go, someone else can pick you up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty brutal when you're fucking 13 or 14 and you get picked up by an NRL club, and then when you're 15, they go, oh no, I don't really want you anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And see, like, you're from Dalby, and like you graduated school in Dalby. I think like me and the old boy were just saying on the way back to town that you are like the only person from Dalby that has graduated high school here and played NRL. And so obviously that's fucking like massive congratulations for that, because going to Dalby State High School and also going on to greater things aren't in the same sentence usually. but yeah, no. So do you think that like when did it go from dream to reality pretty well? So like you played Cyril Connell Cup, which is like honestly still to date, I believe, was the biggest mistake Queensland Rugby League did, was getting rid of that under 16 Cyril Connell
Yeah,
Cup.
100%. Yeah.
But then you went on to the under 18s, and was it under 18s that you got picked up by Storm?
Yeah, so I was a year young. So I was 17 or 16 turning 17 playing under 18s. Yeah.
Yeah. And
then, yeah, well, probably like when it was probably late, Like I always like most kids that play rugby league, like want to play NRL one day. And I've always like, whenever someone asked me when I was a kid, what do I want to be when I'm older, I said, I'm going to play NRL. And
yeah,
like they always say, have a plan B and that. Like, yeah. But I never, like, I was never passionate about anything else. Like it was footy or nothing. And like, and yeah, but it was probably late, Like I played, 18s, and I had a pretty good year that year. Obviously I got picked up and stuff like that. So I was playing pretty good. And then I went up to Melbourne when I got picked up by Melbourne. I played like my first year of 20s. So what was I then? I was 17 turning 18. I kind of like, I wasn't like I was probably, if I'm honest, I was probably one of the worst boys in the squad in terms of like, I was a bit like overawed by the whole situation, and like rocking up to training every day with the Storm shirt on, and like it was kind of just cool to get the training gear, and like I still worked my ass off, but like it was kind of like I was like, oh yeah, like this is cool just doing this. And then like, so I think that year I played like 5 20s games, and I played like the Hastings Deerings 20s for Sunny Coast, and I played pretty good in that. Like I was always like in the statewide comps, like I felt like I was probably a standout in that, but then when I jumped up to NYC, I felt that I wasn't quite good enough for that. And then then the next, so I only played 5 games that year. Then the next year I was 18 turning 19, my second year of 20s, and I kind of locked down a spot at back row there. And but like I had some fucking unreal games, and then I had some shockers. Like 1 week I'd rock up and like I'd be running 200 meters, scoring 2 tries, and then the next week like I'm missing tackles, letting in tries, and like I was just real inconsistent. It probably wasn't till the next year when I got picked. So after that, I got picked up by Newcastle, and I went down and I was in Newcastle, and I was just training under 20s there, and that's when they stopped the national 20s comp, the NRL 20s comp, and so I was playing in the New South Wales 20s comp, and it was still like a decent comp. It wasn't as good, but like I was killing it in that comp, and I was playing real well. Like I was scoring heaps of tries at back row, and then I started getting interest from the Knights first grade team, and like getting offered contracts to be full time for the year after. And then I got picked in the Queensland under 20s team that year, played pretty good in that. And then I started playing a few New South Wales Cup games at the end of that year, and kind of like transferred what I was doing in 20s into New South Wales Cup. Like I was making line breaks, scoring tries, and that was probably the first time when I started doing it in Cup. I was kind of like, fuck, like I can probably play first grade, and then yeah, and then the next year started the year in Cup, and then like was playing pretty well. This is still at Newcastle, and then like Nathan Brown was the coach at Newey then, and he was kind of like hinting to me like, "Oh mate, like I just want to play a couple more good games, and you'll get a crack." And then I had a light injury where I missed like 2 or 3 weeks, and then kind of come at a shit time, and then I come back, and he's like, "Righto, mate, play 2 games, get minutes back, and I'll play in first grade." Played the first game, played good. Second game, that's when I did my ACL. And
Fuck. Yeah, that's how it
is. So he pretty much had told me that, like, if I got through that game unscathed, like, I would have debuted the next week.
Did you debut for Knights?
Nah. So then I did my knee, and then fucking in rehab and all that. New coach came to the Knights, and kind of I was off contract the end of the next year, so I would have got back and played some footy.
Yeah.
But like I was off contract, and I was kind of stressing. Like I was 21, never played first grade, just done my knee. I was like, I didn't have much to fall back on. I was stressing that I wasn't going to have a job at the end of the year, kind of thing. And then that's when the Titans came in and like offered me a 3-year contract, and I was thinking, fuck, like that's.
Did you even have to think about it, or was it just like, yep, we're doing this?
Well, I wanted to stay. If I'm honest, I wanted to stay in Newcastle, and I went to them, and I was like completely honest straight away, and I said to them that like I want to stay, I don't want to go. Like I loved it, and you were a mad group of boys there too, and I was living with a couple of mates, and Monique had just moved down there, and like we were loving it, and I said, oh, I don't want to go, but if you can't match this offer, then like match it or do better, then I'm not going to stay. And they offered me an extra year, and I was kind of like, oh, do I just like take the extra year and kind of like try and fight my way in that way, or do I move back closer to home, take a 3-year contract at a club that like I already knew had a pretty young core that I could probably be a part of and have more of an impact there, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then obviously signed to the Titans, and then came here and got my knee right, and then made my debut round 7 in
February.
Round 7 in 2020.
Yeah, fuck. No, I remember because it mightn't have been your debut, but you definitely fucking scored. I was stuck at the border of the game that you scored your first try.
Oh, that was my second game. Yeah, the week after.
I was listening on the radio, and I've been sitting at the borderline for like 4 hours, and Dad was asleep. I had to wake him up and be like, "Fucking listen to the radio." But like just going back to that, like those are big conversations to be having like when you're a newer, you would have been like what you said, you would have been like 19, 20. Was it 2021, even in Newey? Like those are big conversations to be having with your employer, essentially, that like I love it here. I don't want to go, but you know, like this is a matter of lifestyle. This is a matter of me taking care of myself and my partner. And, you know, like this, you're only guaranteeing me till the end of next year, and you still had to cut your teeth that following year to even debut. So
honestly, I was shitting bricks when like my manager called me and said, like, mate, this is what I've got for you. You're going to have to go talk to the Knights about it, because this is when COVID was like mad when it first came. And so my manager lives here on the Goldie, so he couldn't come to, like, normally if that happened, he would fly to Newey and like come in with me kind of thing. And like I was having to walk into the head coach's office, and as a 20-year-old and you haven't played first grade, like the head coach of an NRL team is daunting, man. Like you're walking in, and I'm like fucking. I went and saw him like after training. I said, "Oh, I got to come talk to you today," and I was shitting balls for the whole day because I was talking to Dad the night before, and he's like, "Mate, you're gonna have to go talk to him," and I'm thinking, like, "Fuck." And when you got to, he definitely knew that I had got offers, because my manager had been talking to their recruitment dude saying like, Beau's been offered this, but I didn't want it to just like go through all my manager and that, and it get ugly, and like I wanted to be honest myself, like, and because I don't want to burn bridges, because you never know. One day, like, never know with footy. Like, I'd love to stay on the Gold Coast my whole life, but fuck, one day I might have to go back to Newey. Like, I don't know, but like when you have to do something, you're shit scared of it, and you're putting it off all day, and you're just nervous about it. Like, that's what I was doing. I trained like I was fucking thinking about it all day, and I just had to go in there and have the conversation with him, mate. And it was just like, I kind of came out of it pretty angry, because I didn't hear what I wanted to hear. Like, they were telling me that they see a future for me at the club, and like all of this, but it was kind of like, well, their offer wasn't really representing that. And so that's when I like kind of said to my manager, like, oh, well, I'm pretty keen on the Titans. And so the Titans like paid for me to fly up here, and I went like did a tour of the facilities, and they invited Dad down as well. And we met with the coach Justin, who's still the coach now, like Melbourne Ingram, and we sat with them, had lunch with them for like, it would have been like 2.5 hours, and they just sat there, and we were just not really even talking about footy. We talked about footy for like an hour, and then we were probably just talking shit like life, what growing up in Dalby was like. And I kind of I left that, and like I had to fly back to Newey. Like, I flew up and back in the same day, and I kind of Dad drove back to Dalby, and he said, "Oh, have a think about it, mate. Like, make it in." Like, I caught an Uber back to the airport, and like by the time I get to the airport, I was like, "Oh, well, I know what I want to do."
Yeah. Exactly, and like walking out of a conversation like that too, like when you compare the conversations, like you walk out of a conversation with the Knights coach, Nathan Brown, who says pretty well, we can only give you till this, not we want you to stay for this. And then you go to a polar opposite fucking meeting with a coach of another team who's like, mate, we fucking want you. Like, we want you here. We want you to enjoy your footy. We want you here to fucking build a life around the Gold Coast pretty well. It's like fucking apples and oranges as to like what you want to do. And as a young fella, but like you said as well, like you don't want to burn those bridges, because footy is.
But it made the decision pretty easy in the end. Like, there was only really one way I could go. Like, there's either have 1 year and fight, or have 3 years and you have plenty of time to get your knee right. Like, I wasn't stressing about rushing to get back on the field and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So with obviously like a lot of people, like people who don't play at NRL level will never ever understand like the emotions that can arise and drop from, like obviously you could spend 5 years at a club and then suddenly they just don't want you, or like you didn't have the crash hot season that you're usually having, so like they don't want you. And you see it with like what are now the older blokes of the game, like Aaron Woods and like Robbie Farah, I think was like, he got pushed out by the Tigers and he spent like his whole career there. But as a young fella, and especially with the rise of like mental health in rugby league, because it is obviously a very, very touching issue, but like, was there anything that you could touch on, or like how you're feeling at the time? Like, did you have any like mad low points at that time, or that you had to pull yourself out of, or pull yourself like together and just be like, nah, we can fucking do it?
It was probably the week of doing my knee. Like, that was it's probably the lowest I've been, because and it was probably the fact that I knew the next week, if I got through that game, like I would have lived out my dream playing first grade.
Yeah.
And then you do your knee, as you know, you have people telling you won't be the same. You go to the surgeons, oh mate, I can't guarantee that your knee's going to feel the same when you come back.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there going like, fuck, I was a week away from playing NRL. I did in the second half, so I was 30 minutes away from playing NRL.
Fuck.
And now I'm sitting here, you're telling me that my knee's not going to be the same. I'm looking at 10 to 12 months of rehab. Like, I was rattled. Like, I didn't know what, like, I was like, fuck, like, I was thinking, fuck, I'm going to have to start working. Like, what am I going to do?
And it is,
and it was a big, like, scary thing. Like, people probably don't think about it, but like, it's like, I didn't want to be that guy that left Dalby, just go do all this footy stuff, and then come back busted down and never achieved it. Like, I didn't.
You're working for Farmers, building roofs.
Yeah, like I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that guy. And then it was kind of like, it was probably like, yeah, mental health. Like, it was just like, it was probably just the people. Like, if I didn't have Monique and my mom, my dad, like my
Your
mates, like, it
support
was kind of,
networks.
yeah, your support networks. Like, I remember like going home and I'd just be crying to Monique, and she
Yeah.
would just say like, yeah, it's going to be all right. Like, you've worked too hard for like yourself
Yeah.
not to be able to play. And then talking to dad, like he done his knee before, and he was saying like, mate, like they say it's not going to be the same, but fucking when is something ever going to be the same?
Yeah.
Like you're a good enough player, you're going to learn to play with like a different knee, like, and it was kind of, it probably took like, I'm pretty positive and don't really, nothing really phases me too much. So that was probably all in the course of maybe 2 weeks. And after that, like I got my surgery, and then once I got my surgery, like I started getting better every day, and I'm going like, fuck, right, here we go. Like I'm going to be walking in 2 days. So I was just kind of like just doing little goals, and like I'd achieve a goal, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, like here I go, I'm going now. Like, and that's kind of, I just my support networks. And then I kind of just set little things. And like, I've never really been through like mad hardship other than that. And I know people have been through a lot worse and a knee injury, but like to me, that was a big deal. And it was kind of, I just set little things that I wanted to achieve in like a day. So like if I was going to train and like, I wanted to lift 5 kilos heavier today than I did yesterday. And then I'd do that and I'd be like, fuck yeah, like just gives you that sense of like achievement. I was like, fuck, I'm kicking some goals now. Like, here I go.
Yeah. I think you're like, because like knowing your family, you would be extremely fortunate in that aspect, because like Amanda and Craig would be absolutely awesome with anything like that. And knowing Monique as well, like Monique's fucking would be absolutely awesome for you to have as well. So do you think like what is your take on, like, what do you think people stress so much about, like young footy players in that thing? Is it like in the Intrust Cup era? Is there Intrust Cup still?
Yeah.
So like with the Intrust Cup, you got, like it's very, very unfortunate, but like you had the year where there was like 3 suicides in the preseason or like in the start of the season. And like, what do you think it is? Like, do you think it's the pressure? Do you think it's, like the stress of not knowing? Because you do focus so much of your life into footy that when you're not playing NRL, you're not making money, and people like don't see it as that, but like that's what it is. So like you need to work and play footy. So if footy doesn't work out, you're going to be working, and you've spent a lot of your life doing this thing. Do you think like that crushes a lot of young blokes?
Yeah, I think it's the fear of failure. Like, boys have put so much effort in, and like everyone talks like you're talking about money and work, and like there's boys like, yes, like NRL players, like lots of NRL players get paid very well, but people don't see like the little dudes, like like the boys that are just coming into first grade. And like there's boys in our team that are got 2 kids, like and they're on 60 grand a year, and their missus isn't working because she just had a kid. But they put a Titan shirt on, and then people automatically think they're on 500,000 a year, or like, and like it's like fucking, and it's hard, and it's hard because he's on fucking 60 grand, and then you're rolling into training next to someone who's on $1 million, and it's like but in terms of like I think it's just a fear of failure for younger boys. Like they work so hard, and the pressure, and like it's tough because everything at this level is videoed. So like if you don't have thick skin and a way to deal with it, like you're gonna struggle just purely because like you stuff up a train, and like the next day you're getting put on show in video saying like, fuck me, bro, like what are you doing here? And like, and there are a lot, I don't know what it was back, but it's not like as brutal as like stories I've heard like back a few years ago. But it's just that I think it's like you said, the constant pressure of like the need to perform. Like you need to rock up every day, and you've got to be an NRL player. And young boys struggle with that pressure, and then they build it up inside, don't talk to anyone about it, and then one thing leads to another, and then it's just
I think like
no
footy
good.
is like what you're saying with everything being videoed as well. Like you guys like have an employment where literally you have an A to B like success level where like everything can be measured and everything can be determined as you did well, you did your job today, or you didn't do your job today. You know, like there's no in between, there's no gray area. It's you did your job and you did it well, or you did your job and you did it bad, or you didn't do your job at all. And so like,
Yeah.
especially with the media, and then you got commentators, and then you got people like who write rugby league columns who are like well respected. And you know, like you might be a younger NRL player and you just get your fucking ass eaten by Buzz
Yeah,
Rothfield.
that's the other thing that people forget. Like he's not just copping it from, like if my coach rips into me, like
Yeah,
fine, like he knows what he's talking about. But then I walk down the street and I've got Joe Blow like looking at me going like, fuck, you played. Like they don't even have to say anything. Like I've had a bad game. You walk down the street and people look at you and you're like, you know that they're thinking, fuck, you had a shit game on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then you got dickheads messenger on social media. Like some of the messages that the boys get are like ridiculous. Like just like way over the top from people, and you click on their profiles and they're fat as fuck, probably never played a game of footy in their life, and they're telling you how to play, and then you're getting slammed from Fox Sport or any news thing, and then you've got a fucking dude who's started a bloody rugby league column on Instagram, and he's slamming you on there, and it's just like there's no, and you come home and like you try and get away from it, you go on your phone and you're seeing it again, and it's just you're getting slammed from every angle.
And no one realizes that like rugby league players give it to themselves the most. Like
you're own harshest critic.
Everyone, like exactly. Like I feel like if you're going home and you're patting yourself on the back, being like, "Fuck, I had a good game today," you're a sociopath. Like that is so fucked up.
You're not thinking about the shit you did good. You're thinking about the shit you did bad, and like. I don't need someone on the street to tell me I had a shit game. Yeah. I know I had a shit game.
You're a fucking professional athlete. Like, you know. Like, yeah. No, it's like 100% I agree with everything. And like, especially like the older blokes would all be accustomed to it, but the younger ones coming through, you know, like it is hard to like understand that like you are living your dream, but at the same time, you got to cop like the good with the bad as well, that you are going to get dickheads.
Yeah. Well, everyone, it's like the NRL lifestyle. Don't get me wrong; it's mad. Like it's fuck. Like it's a dream come true. Yeah. But people forget that. Like they're like we've got boys in our team that graduated footy from school last year, and they're 17 years old, coming into a professional environment. They've never worked a day in their life. And now they're straight into footy and. Well, they might not play NRL, but if they do and they have a shit game, they're going to get slammed, and they've never dealt with that before because those kids at school, they've always been the best kids getting told how good they are, and now they're getting told how shit they are.
Yeah, exactly. So the lifestyle, like you live in Currumbin, is it? You live next to fucking Dreamworld, that's all I know.
Yeah, Coomera, yeah.
So you live Coomera. What's a day in the life? You know, like, see, obviously, I don't know what people think. I don't even know what I fucking think NRL players do all fucking day. Obviously, you guys go talk to people and stuff like that. But I personally think you train every day. Like, is that wrong of me to think? Do you train every fucking day?
Well, it depends. It all depends. Like, if you're talking preseason, like, so I'll give you a week preseason and a week like in season. So a week preseason. So right now, like, so say start. I'll start next week, Monday. I'll rock up Monday, like do every morning you do all screening stuff. So like stretch testing, weight, all the like screening to make sure that your body's right to be able to go out and train on the field, hydration, all that, making sure your hemis aren't tight or whatever. You're not your risk of tearing a hemi. And then so we'll do that every day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And then so Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll do field in the morning. Yeah. So Monday and Thursday are like skill days. So we do speed, ball skills, bit of 13 on 13. It's like our attack day kind of thing. Yeah. Then Tuesday, Fridays, like they're the tough days. So you're getting like field in the mornings, like con, into like contact defense. Then you go on 13 on 13, like pretty much playing full contact games. And like, I'm not talking like an 80-minute game. We'll do like 5 minutes and then we'll have a break. We'll do another 10 minutes. And then every afternoon we're doing gym. So Mondays and Thursdays are upper body, Tuesday, Fridays, lower body. And then you throw in on a Thursday, we do a wrestle session as well. And then on a Wednesday, we've been doing a lot of boxing. So we'll do a boxing session for an hour and a half. And then
just hit the bag and skipping and shit like that. Or
yeah, well, we spar as well, like body sparring, no headshots or anything like that, but body sparring. And I throw them mad.
Yeah, no, we'll sign the contract then. Noah's ready.
I don't want him to hurt me. That's the issue. And then, so like a normal day will be field in the morning. So we're normally on the field like 8:15, 8:30 on the field. That'll go for anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Come off the field, recovery, ice bars, pool, up for lunch. Then gym will start about maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, like a couple groups of gyms, forwards and backs. And then, rip into some gym. And then in and around that, like your videos and video sessions and stuff like that. So like pre-season's pretty full on.
Yeah. So that sounds like a full-time job in itself. So you're rocking up at like what time in the morning you go in?
I normally get there just before 7. So it's quarter to 7. And then like
home
depending on your gym group, like most days I'm home 3:30.
Yeah.
Maybe like an early days, like a 2:30 day.
So that's like an 8-7 hour day.
Yeah. So, but like pre-season, I always say when someone asks me, I say pre-season's where you earn your money as a footy player because it's fucking hard. It's rocking up day in, day out. It's in season that you get the benefits of being a professional athlete. Like,
are they pretty are they pretty adamant with, like not doing anything when you go home, or are they like, we want you guys doing like just moving when you go home, or are they like, nah, don't fucking burn yourselves out going home?
No, that's sweet. Like
1200.
No, like no extra like running. Like they're encouraged like taking the dog for a walk or playing around a golf. Like keep your body moving because you know what it's like. You do a hard day, you come home, sit down, and just seize up. And then so like in seasons a lot like lighter. So like it all depends on your turnaround. But say like we played a Saturday and our next game's on a Saturday. Like so I played Saturday, I'll have like recovery on a Sunday. So like go in, swim in the pool, ice bars, get checked up by the physios and the doctors, make sure that if there's any injuries or whatever, then we'll do like a game review. So that'll take an hour, hour and a half. And then you'll have the next day off. So what's that? Monday, we'll have Monday off. And then we'll come in Tuesday. Tuesday will be a lighter day, like get out on the field, lift some weights. Wednesday will then be like Wednesdays. So 3 days before the game is like your big day. So we'll do like video on the team reversing. So say we're playing the Broncos that week, we'll do video on all their players, what their plays, where they're weak in defense. Then we'll do like a pose session. So like the team that's playing on the weekend will be the Titans, and then the reserve grade team, they'll be the Broncos. So they'll run the Broncos plays and stuff like that. So we're kind of defending the plays we're going to verse on the weekend. And then we'll have Thursday off completely, nothing on Thursday. Then captain's run on Friday, which is like a 10-minute gym session, just like a little pump. A little bit of video, and then like a captain's run, which is like half an hour tops. And then so in seasons you get a lot more time. Like a 7-day turnaround, you'll have 2 days off in that week.
Yeah, right. So you're like, are there weeks where you draw the short straw and you're playing on a Sunday and then you got to play the next following Friday, or they don't do that rarely? Yeah,
so you have short turnarounds, but you just train less then. So if say we're playing on a Sunday, and then we're
Or a Thursday.
playing the next week.
Yeah. Or they wouldn't put you on a
playing
Thursday?
No, they wouldn't. Not a Sunday to a Thursday. They'll do a Sunday to a Friday.
Yeah.
And so, like, then you'd have, like, Monday would be review recovery. Then Tuesday you'd come in and you'd like just do your big session, opposed session. Thursday off, Wednesday off, captain's run.
Yeah.
Thursday play Friday.
Yeah, fuck. Oh man, righto. So I was gonna ask you. I got two final questions actually. One of them I think you might think is funny, but so Max lives with you or lived with you, and he reckons that you consider yourself a singer. What the fuck's going on there?
Just quietly, yes.
Why?
Like,
He told me a story. He goes, wait, so me and Phil were like chilling out one day, and Beau comes in and goes, wait, have you guys ever like filmed yourself singing? And you and you're like, oh, I can actually fucking sing. And Max and Phil were just like, no, you can't. And you're like, yeah, no, me neither.
Nah, like it started like one day, like, you know, you're driving in the car, you play music, you sing along. I mean, Monique and I were sitting in the car and I was singing and she goes, fuck, like you actually can sing all right. And bro, that's just fueled the ego.
Oh,
like,
no.
fuck.
She had it planned from the start.
I'm a mad singer, so yeah, I can, but I'm just real shy with it. Like I'll only do it like if I don't think anyone's listening, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. In the showers when everyone's going home, you're just there.
Yeah.
The last question is, I know you cop it. You do cop this question a lot because I actually, I have seen you speak publicly a couple of times, and I fucking did not want to ask it, but I've changed it up a little bit. So I always hear the question, oh, have you got any advice for any young footballers? And I've heard the same fucking response, or like not the same response, because you are pretty good around mixing up a little bit. But my advice to you is, or my question to you is, the best advice, footy or not, the best advice you've ever received or you've taken on board.
Like there's always the cliche ones like fucking hard work beats talent and
yeah,
stuff like that. But I think it's just trying to think.
Well, you're the fittest at the Titans as well, anyway. So obviously you exemplify that. What was your 1200 score?
I think it's
the latest one.
I did 430 the other day.
Can't.
PB.
What the
My
fuck?
best ever.
It was a 430 1200.
I was
got Clarky in here with me. He does a 7.
I was in the hurt locker that day. I nearly shit myself, honestly.
I was saying that I was like, my 1200 comes in 5 stages and it's each lap. And like my first lap is like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. My second lap is like, okay, 4 to go. My third lap is like, okay, this is fucking hard and I'm starting to lose it. Fourth lap is like, eyes start to like black out and I can see stars like out the corner of my eyes and shit. And then like, if I have to shit beforehand, I'll just shit then. And then I'll just like go through the last lap and have everyone else just like clapping you on and you're just like running like the special kid back to the finish line.
Mine's a bit different. So
I go, yours is different. No, what the fuck?
The first one I like go, fuck, I'll move into the other end. First lap, I'm going, fuck, I'm gonna run this fast.
Yeah.
So I run the first hang on, I gotta turn the light on. I always like rip into the first one because I think if I get a quick start, it's setting me up for a good time.
Yeah.
So I'll always like do my first lap quick. Then I'll get through the second lap. I'll kind of just cruise that because I'm like, yeah, like it. Like then I kind of get off it. Like I'm like, fuck, I don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
Third lap's like mad head noise, like because I'm sitting there. If I'm halfway through the third lap, I'm going, fuck, I'm 2.5 in. Like I've still got I've still got what I've just done again.
Ah, righto, yeah. So you're a glass half empty stage there. You're not thinking,
yeah,
okay,
in that I am.
Yeah.
And then I go, And then I get to the 4th lap and I'm going, fuck, I actually feel all right. Like
Yeah.
I'm going all right here. So I start to speed it up a bit. And then like the 5th lap, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I just go, fuck it. I'm just going to sprint the last lap and see how I go.
Yeah. So pretty well the same as me. We have the same
Yeah.
100, just different
Yeah.
scores.
Yeah.
Mate, absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this episode. We've been trying to tee it up for ages, but just keep missing each other. Obviously,
Did you want to do any of the off-field stuff or no?
No, well, we might tee it up for another one. We're just running out of battery life here. So,
Oh, yeah, sorry.
but I'll fucking try to get you here because we're gonna look at actually getting a kegerator in here, so we might be able to have a schooner or two. We'll see when we can tee it up when you're actually allowed one. But mate, massive congratulations on last year. Massive fucking good luck going into this year. Congratulations on the wedding also.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll discuss Darwin and all that at another time. Congratulations to Monique as well and yourself for the bub.
Yeah, little boy on the way.
Is it a boy?
End of May. Yeah, little boy. End of May.
Mad. Righto. Well, say congratulations to Monique for me. All the best.
Right. Cheers. Thank you.
Catch up with you.